Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome to another episode of the 2026 Fix with me, Mel.
And me, Rita.
So, tell me.
What's the topic for today, Mel?
Okay, so one of the things that we've been talking about of recent is self-awareness.
It's missing.
Yeah. Yeah, self-awareness is missing. Full stop. End of podcast. But honestly, yeah, it is missing, and it's quite funny because with self-awareness, when you do have it, why are we questioned about self-awareness? What's wrong with self-awareness?
What's wrong with self-awareness?
Yeah, why is it when we are self-aware, we get questioned about it?
Because it's missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's missing. But why is it such a bad thing to be self-aware?
It's not a bad thing.
Exactly.
It's really good.
Yeah.
But it's missing.
Yeah. Now, what you're probably thinking, well, these girls are going round in circles, it's mainly because it's coming from certain situations that we've both been involved in and being questioned about how do we know things. And I'm like, well, you would know things about yourself if you were more self-aware. So I'm going to give you an example. Recently I went for, well, not recently, a few months now, I went for an eye test, and I've always known that one side is weaker than the other in terms of my anatomy. And I think for a lot of us, there's always going to be some area of us are slightly weaker than other areas, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's normal.
That's just normal. So with my eye test, my right eye is weaker than my left eye, and that's been a known fact. But one of the things that I tend to do is that I like to test my eyes. So I will, like you would do in a normal eye test, close one eye, check what you can read properly or not properly, and then you test the other eye. And anyway, to cut a long story short, I was prescribed glasses, which is fine. But then I still noticed, well, hang on a second, on my right eye, it's still slightly less better than what I would have assumed it to be, because I'd want it to work with the 20/20 that my left eye has got. Now, went back to the opticians. I said, well, I still feel like even with my glasses, my right eye still seems slightly weaker. And even as I'm recording this, I'm still kind of testing my eyes as I talk. And I was actually asked, well, why are you just testing your right eye? Why aren't you reading with both your eyes? And I'm like, well, what kind of question is that? Because if I'm reading it with my right eye, and I can notice that it's a bit weaker, then obviously there might be a problem with my lens. So first of all, was that person annoyed with me because I've pointed out maybe there might be a problem with my glasses? Or is it just that they were annoyed because I was self-aware enough to test my eyes to see whether it works okay with my right eye compared to my left? So that's the sort of thing where self-awareness comes from, where there's something about yourself and you want to check to see what's the improvement like, and what's the has it changed with the new thing. This is just one obviously example of it, but being self-aware means I know I have a weakness, but let me test to see if it's improved or if it's getting worse or if it stayed the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I think it's also, I mean, she obviously didn't understand, well, why would you test it?
Yeah.
Just take my word for it.
And for me, I'm like, well, why wouldn't I test it?
And I think this happens too much, where people would just play blind, no pun intended, but kind of be blinded by you can actually find out a lot of things about yourself if you just allow yourself
to learn about yourself,
listen to yourself, and become more aware about what you need from life, be that both professionally and personally.
Yeah, yeah. I just felt like it was just like, well, why are you testing yourself? And I'm like, well, why can't I test myself? It was like,
Yeah, there's no rule to
it's my
save.
eyes. If I want to close one and read from it, I want to do that. So, but yeah, it's crazy.
You know, there's lots of things, and even in terms of healthy eating and what you do, it's like, well, we've spoken a lot on this show about us trying different ways of eating, not eating meat, trying vegan and everything, and we're open to it because, and we've explained that it's about, well, how do we feel if we don't eat meat? How do we feel if we do eat meat? You know, again, it comes down to that testing.
Yeah. We've done it even with coffee, haven't we?
Yeah, but we've had conversations where it's like, but what led you to doing that?
Yeah.
And it's like, because my body doesn't feel right.
And therefore I'm going to try different things.
Yeah, you know, and why are so many of us scared to listen to ourselves?
Yeah. I think for me, it's where the question comes from. It's the like, well, what made you decide that? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And I guess, like, from being self-aware, I can't understand why someone won't be self-aware. Because I can't just go blind. I can't be that sort of person. Well, my mum and dad did it, so I'm going to do the same. Like, I'm like, no, but what is it that I want to do? What is it that I have? What skills do I have that will not make me do the same things as mum and dad, or what the expectations are, but then go in a different route of that. So when someone asks me, basically, indirectly, why are you so self-aware? I'm like, well, why wouldn't you be self-aware? Is this a level of independent thought, or I don't know, maybe you've got an opinion on that? Because I find that hard to get around why you wouldn't be self-aware.
I think, yeah, it's a hard one because, like yourself, I don't understand why someone would not be self-aware. And to get through life not being self-aware is,
it's going to put you in
dangerous.
Yeah.
Very dangerous. In terms of like what we discussed in relationships last time, in situations that you have with others, your health, just everything. And I think you become a stronger all-rounder if you are aware of yourself.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like when you notice that, you know, certain allergies that you might have, or like, you know, you might eat something and you think, oh, actually that doesn't have
like broccoli.
Yeah. No, it's just that you don't like broccoli. It's not that it's not good for you. It is good for you. But yeah, but just
I had to be aware of that.
But you had to be aware. Yeah, exactly.
So lighten it up.
Yeah, but if you think about it for the point of, yeah, if you eat something and you don't like it, what are you going to do? Keep on eating it? No, you're not. So that's the self-awareness there already.
And it's like,
I don't like that.
It's like eating steak.
Yeah.
Like, for us, it's got to be well done.
Yeah, we're ethnic. We want it well done.
We know, we're aware that it has to be well done.
Exactly.
That's what we need for us. But if you didn't have the confidence to be aware of, okay, I'm going to say, no, I need this well done, because everyone, and even the chefs, will say, no, it's better having it rare and all this.
Medium
you're ruining it. And
I don't care.
Stuff.
I'm paying for it. I'm ruining my meat. Let me eat it the way I want.
That comes with a level of self-awareness. It's like you're aware. I like it well done.
Yeah, that's it.
And therefore, it gives you, I think, or self-awareness gives you that confidence
to say, well, this is why I like it.
To stand in your truth.
Yeah.
Then going with the flow and saying, I do want it, but maybe everyone else is right and I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, is with that, with lack of self-awareness, you're likely going down to the route of people pleasing. And then also not knowing what you like. You mentioned the topic of relationships. And it's like, oh, but everyone else has a partner, so maybe I should have someone. But maybe you're just rubbish at relationships and you shouldn't be in a relationship. Maybe you are better off being single. So why do you have to do everything else the same? If you're self-aware, then you'll know, actually, just like for me, relationships don't work for me. Prefer having them as mates. And that's it. No stress. Let me crack on with what I need to do. So, and I think that's the point. But then you will get people that will say to you, but why don't you want to be in a relationship? And I'm like, well, why not?
But I think self-awareness does build confidence.
Yeah, 100%.
And anyone that is struggling with confidence, the first thing I would say to you is become self-aware first.
Yeah, just understand yourself and explore what you like and what you don't like.
Because even in the dynamics of friendship, the dynamics of relationships, you still have to get to know the other person to build that foundation. But if you don't know yourself, how can you build a foundation with anybody else and be confident in standing in your truth? The first person who you really need to know is you, in any area of your life, in any working relationship, family relationship.
Because you're your own core element of that
without
piece.
you knowing you're going through life blindly. And I'm just gonna
yeah, absolutely. And I think it's like that, isn't it? And I'm just going to use a context of work. And I think work, oh my gosh, when I say work, I'm talking about 9 to 5. Yeah. There is such a high lack of self-awareness in the workplace, mainly because, first of all, there's groupthink. Everyone else is thinking about this, or everyone else is doing this. Everyone else has that opinion. Maybe if I've got a different idea, then maybe I just need to pipe down and just go with the masses. You've got this element of, and I think a lot of us have been through that, where, in certain environments, everyone's going to go to the pub after work or get absolutely hammered, as they say, right? And if you're not that sort of person, you might just go there, quietly sip your, I don't know, your soda, whatever it is that you're having, or your orange juice. Yeah, or if you're having your orange juice,
like me,
or pineapple juice, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, everyone's hammered and having a good time, and I'm just like watching them get from bad to worse. And then it's like, okay, but then you feel like, okay, but some people fall into pressure drinking or social pressures, just as an example. But if you're self-aware, like you said, and you've got the confidence to say, actually, that's not my scene, you guys go, maybe we can sort something else another time or whatever, then that's absolutely fine. You do that. But then there's also this point where, if you try to break free from your 9 to 5 because you realize, actually, I am aware that actually this isn't working for me, but then there's this point of, everyone else says, but can you really do it? It does actually kind of make you question your own self-awareness, and then you can start to pipe down. I see it a lot, and I've seen it a lot being part of it within like a 9 to 5 sort of role. There's that fear factor of being self-aware, because if you do everything the same, then you're part of them. And then if you do something different because you're self-aware and you know what it is, then if you've just started to become self-aware, you could be a little bit wobbly on that. So it's really, I think it can be quite hard.
It is a training ground, but you do get confident. It's a muscle that you build. It's a muscle that you train. It's like someone from myself who's suffered with extreme shyness and social anxiety and stuff like that, and hiding who I think I was. It's really is difficult, but then there comes a point where that essence of who you are doesn't leave you, and eventually it's got to come out, because it builds up and it gets frustrating. And it gets to a point where if you're not just you, life is a lot more harder than just being you. And being free, we're all free to make the decisions we want in life. No one can hold us down and say, no, you can't make that decision, or no, because you're not a professional, you shouldn't be testing your own eyesight or whatever.
Exactly.
No one can do it, because you know what's best for you, and how you run you is down to you.
Yeah.
And I just want people to hear that yes, it is difficult when you suffer from a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety, but you take each day and you remind yourself of what is important to you. It goes back to the pillars, like we spoke about, and values. It always like full circle. And if you've got the pillars down, and if you haven't listened to that, then please check out. I know we've spoken about it.
We've mentioned it in a few of our podcasts.
Yeah. So please, I think it was the earlier one.
Yeah.
But please, like, if you know that, then you're already starting that self-awareness journey. And all you've got to do is stay firm in what are the 5 areas that are important to me.
So technically with that, you'll basically say that self-awareness is really connected to your principles.
Yeah, and your values.
Yeah, your principles and your values. So like for me, we say health is definitely, you've got to be self-aware.
It's one of our important pillars.
And that's what we would encourage for everyone, to have health as being self-aware of your health, because you will find that there are going to be people that will fob you off. And I'm talking about, unfortunately, it's going to be certain practitioners that might actually say, well, why don't you just listen to me? I gave you this pill, so just take it. But with that, you need to do your research. Maybe it reacts badly with me. Maybe it doesn't work with me this way. What are the side effects? What am I willing to risk when it comes to side effects? Do I think actually that's fine if I go, if it gives me really bad thoughts or negative thoughts, I'm going to take it anyway just because it gets me slimmer? Then obviously I'd say be self-aware, because you're thinking about your mental health being impacted compared to you slimming down, when it could be dietary change or lifestyle changes that could be the thing that could help. Obviously not always the case, but you obviously need to get that checked out. But that self-awareness with health is a really big one, because sometimes I think not even sometimes, a lot of the time we neglect it. Listen to the professionals, but there's also a bit of doing your own research as well.
Yeah, it's so important, because it's, you can't keep following everyone else and you suffer. You have to come to a point where, what works for me? We are all individuals. Yes, we go through the same difficulties, but similar,
even the difficulties are different.
But how we manage it is very different. So don't just be ignorant to you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Don't be ignorant to you. And I think in actual fact you've just summed up the title of this episode.
Oh, have I?
Don't be ignorant to you, the importance of self-awareness.
Yeah.
And I think it's everywhere in life, isn't it? It's not just self-awareness. Obviously we spoke about health. It's relationships, it's work, it's your skills, it's the way you are with family, your friends, your likes, your dislikes, self-awareness of what TV shows or Netflix shows, whatever it is you're getting your streaming from, what triggers you negatively, what is counterproductive, versus is it just so you don't have to think. You have to be self-aware of all of these things, your spirituality, your faith. If there's a lack of, then your own research into that, if that is the case. But yeah, you just need to be self-aware. Don't ignore yourself.
Yeah, definitely. We've touched on quite a few things.
Self-awareness leads to confidence.
Yeah. Look, there's quite a few titles there. What are we going to choose?
I think you would already know of self. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think ignorance of self is a really good one. Yeah. I really like that, because I think I think there's a lot of people out there, and you can obviously comment and whatever, like, share, comment as you would normally do. Don't forget to subscribe as well. But yeah, the ignorance of self, as soon as you see that, you're actually thinking, do I ignore myself?
Mm.
And if someone makes you feel bad for ignoring yourself, seek a different friend.
Yeah, or even a
seek a different
professional.
you get a second opinion, and whatever, because the moment someone questions yourself, well, why would you think that and why would you look at that, it's not because you're mad, you're actually just looking after yourself because you want to see how well your organs, your vitals and everything is performing. No problem with that.
Yeah.
It's called self-assessment, evaluation.
Yeah,
You can
have to, especially
reevaluate.
we live in a world of apps and AI and everything. And it's like you need to be aware of you and don't lose you in the sight of all these things
that are happening,
that are taking over and having to rely on. Like, so many people are like relying on a health app to
tell you
let them know how are they doing. And it's like, and also if something's wrong, it's like, well, how about being preventative and noticing
rather than
right,
recovery?
Actually, I feel like this, let me deal with it now. So your app never has to go negative. It can always be, oh, you're fine, because you are aware of what's going on with you.
Yeah, so you just got to be careful in terms of, is the whatever platform you choose, is it helping you or is it deterring you? Because there are going to be some apps and platforms that will be
really,
helpful.
really good ones.
Yeah, that are going to be really helpful. But you do have to think about how much control does the digital age have over me? And also, how can I use it to learn about myself?
Yeah.
Not even, compliment you.
Not compliment as in saying, oh, you're beautiful.
I mean, that's great, but,
compliment as
in, it works with you.
As a team.
It doesn't work. Yeah, it works with you rather than overtakes
for you.
Yeah. So, use digital devices, platforms, and apps really carefully. But, generally, don't worry about being self-aware. If it's something that you want to take stock on and say, actually, I need to find out about myself a little bit more. So, again, maybe that's our timer going off, but be self-aware, make sure you kind of, don't neglect yourself, don't be ignorant of the self, and get a second opinion if anyone questions your self-awareness.
So on that note,
that's Mel signing out.
And that's Rita signing out.
Bye.
Bye.